All right.
Okay.
Switch to headphones. We're good to go.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Asian Blokes Podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian films, TV shows, anime, music, whatever, really.
Yeah.
We'll talk about food if we
shit.
want to, if we get hungry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, ideally, we're supposed to have something to drink, but we're deciding to be sensible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
but yeah.
I'll probably get something.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, I'm Dan, and with me is my co-host, Tavi. So, Tavi, who are we, and what are we doing here?
Hi, I'm Tavi. I'm a filmmaker. I mostly do screenwriting. I've had a couple of films on the circuit, which I'm happy about, but also being a filmmaker is another professional way of saying I'm a bit of a bum as well. As Dan said, we're here to kind of just talk about films, pop culture, music, food,
Right.
as it pertains probably to, I guess, Asians in cinema, whether it's, Western Asians or like Koreans, Japanese, Chinese. And that's it, because there's no other kind of Asians. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Already hashtag cancel Tavi. Actually,
there's a lot of different Asians, actually, Tavi. Technically.
Yeah, even I'm going to give a shout out to Risky here, who's Indo. So, yeah, I guess that's part of Asia too.
I guess.
And he's going to be mixing the show for us. So
thank you, Risky.
And if there is a theme song at the start of this, he's done it. So if it's good, thanks, Risky. If it's shit, we get another Indo guy.
Yeah. If you're looking for insights into Asian cinema, in-depth analyses and critiques, probably listen to someone else, because we don't really know what we're talking about.
Nah,
but
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to be mostly jokes, I'll be honest.
What was your reason for wanting to start this podcast, and where do you come from?
Well, I mean, I haven't studied film. Well, I've watched a lot of films. And yeah, I know I'm Asian. And really, I just wanted to talk about Shang-Chi, since at the time of recording, that has been released. But since we both live in Australia, we're in lockdown at the moment and have no way of seeing it because, we just can't go to cinemas.
Yep.
We'll see it eventually, and we'll talk about it eventually once everybody's already seen it and forgotten about it. But so look forward to that, listeners. But yeah, in the meantime, we will be talking about other stuff that is in the works, and try to create a tenuous link towards Asian cinema and TV, and then, discuss it. Have a chat, chew the fat, all that stuff.
Yes, and then 10 podcasts later, and then God smoked the world into the...
Gotcha, yeah. Tricked you into listening to evangelical stuff.
There you go. We've just lost our Christian listeners. So,
Wow.
That's right. I imagine this episode will be listened to the handful of people that I link this to, and we'll be like, oh, yeah, cool, man. So, I don't think there's too many... we don't have too many Christian friends.
Well, not anymore. Because
not anymore.
You pissed them all off and they've left us.
Yeah. Oh well.
Bound to happen.
To the future Christian brothers and sisters, like your stuff is cool.
I love Creed. I love the Calling. What else have they got?
What is the Calling Christian?
It's Christian rock, right?
I don't know the Calling. I know Creed are. It's just that they sound the same.
Okay, it's good enough for me. I'm not going to look it up. Either way, I stand by my statement. I love the Calling. Okay.
Yeah, the calling's pretty good, especially at karaoke.
Yeah, that guy looks like he's 12 years old, but deep vocals.
Who the calling guy?
The calling guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Aaron Carter.
He does look like Aaron Carter. Yeah.
But like Aaron Carter when he was young and not like a meth head or whatever he is now. I don't know. I feel like I've seen a mugshot of him fairly recently. Well, recently I say.
Oh yeah.
But that was probably 2015 or something.
So as you can see, we're talking about the pinnacle of Asian entertainment. We're talking about Protestant, questionably Christian bands. But
from the mid 2010s, probably.
So we both watched the movie Kate recently.
Oh yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
So the first movie that we're talking about is directed by a white dude and is made for a predominantly Western audience. So we're already starting pretty well.
Set in Japan, but filmed in Hawaii, apparently, right?
Yeah. In the credits, it mentioned Hawaii. I guess we can just mention our impressions of it as we were talking about before.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, by the way, if anybody wants to watch it. And we might spoil stuff for this film. So if you want to watch it first before listening to us rip it to shreds, no, it's all right. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, I actually found it pretty enjoyable. It's terms of story, it's not groundbreaking. It's quite similar to a lot of the female assassin genre of movies. What comes to mind is Nikita.
Yeah.
What are the other ones?
I mean, there's like Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow. I haven't seen that
Hannah,
one yet.
I guess.
Yeah.
You you got your female assassin trope.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's in Japan.
Its lead actress, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, is I have somewhat of a soft spot for. And I think we were talking about her the other day, and we said a lot of our friends weren't really, I guess, charmed by her. But according to our sound dude Risky and a couple of other Indonesian people I've spoken to, she's a big hit over there. She's like the dream girl.
Oh, the dream girl. Okay, she has her charm. Yeah, I like
cool,
her.
Man.
Yeah, she's in good films too. What's it? Cloverfield Lane. Scott
10
Pilgrim.
Cloverfield Lane is probably her best role.
No, Birds of Prey. I think you're forgetting, Tavi. She played.
She's one of the better parts of that movie, and it's probably what prepped her for Kate, because her action sequences, like, they're pretty well done. Like, we were saying before, a lot of the shots are wide, so you can kind of see her doing the action. There's two particular scenes which I really enjoyed were the knife fight with the yakuza. That really took me back to the Man from Nowhere fight scene at the end, and a lot of
is that the one in the restaurant?
Yeah, when she goes to the restaurant and she like knifes all those dudes.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's kind of, you see that kind of fight sequence a lot in Korean films, because I guess guns are much harder to come by, so you've got to be a bit creative. And it's, I guess, since I've been exposed to that kind of fight sequence a lot, I kind of prefer it that way.
Yeah, I like how she goes to Lawson, right? And she makes like a silencer, like a homemade silencer. And then her gun immediately jams, so she has to fight with a knife.
Yeah.
I like that. It's good. It's creative.
Yeah, it's cool. And when she fights that dude in his apartment, I feel like if that was in the climax instead of in that part of the movie, it would have been cooler. Like, I always kind of like, those final boss sequences. If we're going to talk about what comes to mind is, the Raid 2, or even The Night Comes for Us. Like, there's always that build up to a epic one-on-one fight scene, which I guess the climax is the shootout at the plaza or whatever that dude's building is.
Yeah, you don't really get a final boss fight in this one, do you? But I guess it kind of makes sense for the narrative because, I mean, spoilers. We're into spoilers now, but she is poisoned at the start of the film, and so she's just slowly dying throughout the film. So, a final boss fight at the end of the film wouldn't have made. Would
more
less
so
sense.
Woody Harrelson is too old and he can't do those scenes. I don't expect
That's true.
Obviously, if they had made Woody Harrelson that kind of character who may have seemed like nimble or we'd seen his skills. Yeah,
he could have had a henchman. He could have had like a second in command or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that would have been cool. Like just.
That's how it usually plays out as well. It's like in Man from Nowhere. They fight
I was just going to bring that up.
The henchman to get
the
to
Vietnamese guy.
The guy that looks like our friend's dad. Yeah. He didn't flinch.
But yeah, it's the shooting scene. It's like kind of like that scene in John Wick 3 where the hotel gets stormed. There's just a lot of not really gun fu, but a lot of like that kind of just like what would you call the storming the building with guns scene. Like I kind of miss that in films because you don't really see that too much.
I would call it gun fu. I mean,
yeah, there's a little bit of gun fu, but not really. But it's like, but I enjoyed the movie a lot more than I was expecting to.
What did you think of the child sidekick? I know you're a fan of that trope of just children in film in general.
The thing is, because sometimes she was all right and sometimes she was annoying, but like I'm not sure that's kind of her character to be kind of bratty,
Yeah, she's very sassy, isn't she? I mean, we say child, but how old is the actress? She might be like 26 or whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen her in anything. I don't think she's 20. The Asian gene's not that strong.
I'm gonna look her up real quick.
Oh yeah.
Miku Patricia Martineau.
Okay, so yeah, she's mixed race actor. But yeah, I think what drew me initially to Kate, because I'd heard about it earlier, because there's a rock band that I listen to called Band-Maid, and they're like this all-female rock band that dress up as maids, but they make like hard rock heavy metal. And you would have seen them in that scene where she picks up Annie, which is the child actor Mickey Martineau.
Right.
So
in the concert. She's at the concert. Okay. Yeah.
So they are a legitimate band, and you hear their music being played twice. The first time is when Mary Elizabeth Winstead, or I should say Kate, because that's the character's name. Okay, so when Kate, she steals a car, like a very typical Tokyo Drift car that I never saw when I was living over. Oh no, I did. I saw maybe two in Akihabara once.
Pretty unlikely.
But you don't. There's no. I've never seen a circuit of people that party hard and drag race.
I mean, a driving scene like that in Tokyo is just it would never happen. You just get stuck in traffic immediately.
Yeah. Well, I guess it takes place at night or whatever, but it's definitely a Western trope. But I mean, it's a stylistic film. It's not going for realism, and I can forgive that because I was entertained by it.
Yeah. Suspension of disbelief. It's fine.
Yeah. has been some controversy. Like we'll try not to get too political on this show.
Go full political. That's why people are here, Tavi.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. You gotta pick a side, or you're not on any side, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'd recently seen some articles which kind of talked about the film promoting anti-Asian violence, and then
Okay.
and it's like, well, you're in Japan and you're fighting the yakuza. Like, if you made the yakuza white, wouldn't it just go the other way? You know, like it wouldn't make sense.
Well, I mean, the big bad is Woody Harrelson, right? So
yeah. Well, I think seen one argument, the film doesn't need to be set in Japan. No, it doesn't. But the film doesn't need to exist either. So like,
yeah, I don't know if there's not an argument there really. Like, it's just the film is set in Japan. That's. If it wasn't, there wouldn't be much of a story. It's a big part of... Oh, wait, is it a big part of it? Yeah, I guess it is.
I mean, like, you could easily rejig it, but the Japan stuff is cool. If it wasn't set in Japan, I probably wouldn't have watched it, to be honest, because it's just like, I like that aesthetic, the people who have said, it's the kind of... or the Blade Runner neon lit projections on buildings, and like, okay, it's a tired and tried trope, but it's just cool to look at. I mean, like, you can't just like,
sure, that's a visual choice. They've gone for a certain aesthetic, and that aesthetic is most seen in Asia, I guess. So, yeah, set it in Asia.
Because some people have said, like, why don't you show a more realistic side of Japan? Then watch Japanese films. Like, I've definitely watched my fair share of Japanese films, and they definitely depict Tokyo in a much more realistic manner. Like, but Kate is not a realistic film. It's escapism.
Yeah, it's an excuse for Mary Elizabeth Winstead to go around stabbing and shooting her way through a cool city to get to the big bad guy, who is, spoiler alert, Woody Harrelson, the only white guy in the film. So,
yeah, the basis of all evil is,
of course,
straight white guy.
It's a white guy.
Because he's got control over the yakuza.
Somehow. I mean, I felt like it didn't matter to me much, but I feel like his motivations were really unclear. Like, the instant I saw him, I'm like, this guy is definitely going to betray her at some point in the film. But like, when he explained why, like, to begin with, what he does for a living is, it's obscure. He trains female assassins, but to what end? Is he working for the government? Is he working for an agency? You don't really know. And then at the end, he just wants to be a part of the yakuza for some reason.
That was a very weak motivation.
Is that a better deal for him? Does he make more money in the yakuza than he does training female assassins for an agent? Yeah, I assume so. But you do you, Woody Harrelson, whatever.
Yeah. He was probably too busy preparing to be Carnage anyway, so it's all like, yeah, man, I'll just
he's got to go to
Yakuza.
the wig fittings and ping pong. You reckon he's doing the ping pong suit for that?
The what?
The ping pong ball suit for Carnage.
I think that technology has that. I'm not sure if they do that anymore.
Really?
I've heard from the gaming side of things that the ping pong ball suit is a bit outdated. I could be wrong.
Is it?
I haven't worked in visual effects.
Is it a suit with a different kind of ball on it? Is it a tennis ball suit? No.
Either way, it's always going to be in a that latex green suit where it just looks odd.
Yeah.
Like I really want to be there on a set one day where actors have to work in, because it'd be just weird because you see people like kind of bare their soul. Like, I mean, let's say if there's a very CGI heavy scene that's more on an emotional level, like kind of conjuring that kind of scene up in such a fabricated
For
environment,
sure.
I guess. Or
It's tough, especially for older actors. I feel like did you hear how like the Hobbit movies broke Ian McKellen?
Ian McKellen was not pleased to be
because he's acting to no one basically, and he's in a green room to someone that's like been traditionally trained in acting, like he's a thespian, right? That guy.
Yeah. He is.
It would be
which
hard.
reminds me to Kate. From what I can see, is that a lot of the action scenes are done like there's not a lot of CGI, which I appreciated, and even in terms of shot compositions, this is something that blew me away when I was studying film. Is the idea of what's it called? But it's basically, I forgot the term at the moment, but it's basically when you will have, let's say, like a medium close-up of the shot of an actor, like, shot, reverse shot, talking heads kind of thing. And you'll notice that the lighting just seems off, and like the edit choices are a bit weird. And you just like, I could never really explain why. But what happens is sometimes, a director will be like, oh, I didn't really like that performance on location that day, so bring that actor back in, put him on green screen with that shot. And then what they'll do with the green screen is, they'll have a plate like of a shot of the day. And then they'll use that, and then they'll paste it in the background and then light it to look like they shot it on the day, but it's not. It's a green screen. Sure. And this is not a CGI heavy shot. And you can kind of tell, maybe Kate hit it pretty well, but I will compare it to Fast and Furious 9. Have you seen that movie?
Yes. Of course, Tavi. Who do you think you're talking to? I was the first one in the cinema back when we still could go to the cinema.
It's one of the
I paid my $25 or whatever outrageous price it is in Australia to go to the movies.
When they're in Tokyo, right? And I don't remember what they're doing, but Michelle Rodriguez is talking to Jordana Brewster. Well, I forgot the characters' names because I don't watch a lot of those films. In fact, Fast 9 was the first one I'd seen.
I think you're talking about Letty and Mia.
Okay,
eating ramen or
Letty.
Pretending to eat ramen in a shop.
So some of that sequence was shot, and this is speculation. Like someone from production can come up and write me an angry email and say, no, actually, we did that. Here's the proof. That's all good. But
yes, if you're listening and you worked on the F9 series, please roast Tavi in the comments.
Yeah, roast me and cancel me and nuke my house and everything. It's all good, especially when I'm gardening.
Get sick Vin Diesel on him. That'd be fun.
You just get Vin Diesel.
Get Vin Diesel to go to his house, rough him up a little.
No, I'll be like, oh man, but I love family, and he'll be, oh, it's all good.
But then he'll pull out two giant wrenches, and be like, "Did you expect a street fight?" Or whatever. I don't know. Good films.
Yeah, just, maybe not.
That's a discussion for another time, I think.
But yeah, with those scenes, like you can kind of just tell that Michelle Rodriguez, Letty, is not actually there. It'll just be a random edit to, a medium close-up. And it was just like, she's not actually there. It's just a base plate. Because the background doesn't look particularly pleasing, like, in terms of a framing sense. And you can tell that in a lot of movies. And it's, I guess, like, it's to save time because, the budget's mostly going for those big action numbers, like the car magnet scene, in which I'm sure there was a heavy civilian casualty, but that's all good
No,
because
they're the
Vin
heroes.
Diesel's got family. But going from that I didn't see a lot of that in Kate.
Right.
There's some fairly decently framed shots. Like, you know, there's a lot of like profile shots where, especially during one of the fight scenes, during the knife scene, where it reminded me of Oldboy a little bit. Like, you know, every action editor in Hollywood is Edward Scissorhands, and just like, oh fuck, just can't handle all these scripts, and then it's just like just cobble it together.
Well, I think
then,
that's less of a thing these days because people are over it. I mean, during the Bourne Identity, you know, when that kind of style of action was big, it was just.
I see it a lot still.
Oh, really?
Like it in in the Unholy Snake Eyes and the Unholy Monster Hunter,
Sure.
which will be for another episode.
Yeah, I guess Monster Hunter has no excuse because they've got a brilliant martial artist in Tony Jaa. There's no excuse. There's no reason to cut his fights up. I don't know about the Snake Eyes guy. I don't know if he does his own stuff, but you mentioned in Kate that she did a lot of the stuff herself, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Like it seems like it for sure.
Yeah,
Like
it
because
does.
like a lot of the shots are fairly wide and
continuous
Mary-
too.
Yeah, she's not a stranger to action sequences. She did a lot of her own stunts in Scott Pilgrim. I think she did a lot of her own stunts in
Fargo.
Birds of Prey. Fargo, which I haven't seen.
Oh, it's good. You should watch it.
She did her own stunts in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh my
Which
god, I
I'm not
forgot she
sure
was
she-
in that. She
just came to
she shot
mind.
that vampire in the head with a fork
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely her own stunts there. But yeah, like it's impressive, you know. I mean, like, yeah, people argue, oh, you know, what a 40-pound woman taking on like these men, and it's like, you know, it's just escapism.
Well, I buy her as an
Yeah.
action type. Yeah, she's like, I think she could fuck me up for sure.
Yeah, definitely,
She'll
for
fuck
sure.
you up.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe
She
not
was
Vin
like, "Oh,
Diesel,
man."
but
It's like,
yeah.
you know the dude that drops the knife? That's me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
oh man,
sure.
I'm good.
I would have
Like, yeah.
bounced a long time ago.
It's like, you know, when she barges in with the three dudes, like if we were one of those dudes, we'd have just already ran away,
Yeah,
like
would be.
instantly. Like
Puffing down the
We
street.
wouldn't have even seen that it was Mary Elizabeth. It's just
Just a loud noise. And we're already on our feet.
Yeah, that's
Any
it. We're
excuse
gone.
to
We're
run out on the bill.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I agree. Like, I don't know if it was, like, the action was good. I probably would have liked a bit more squibbiness to it, I guess.
Oh yeah,
I
Are
don't
you
know.
talking about like people getting shot?
Yeah.
And-
I feel like a lot
yeah.
of that blood was CGI, possibly.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
I would agree with that too. A lot of people don't like using squibs because
It's a pain in the
they're a
ass.
bit it's a pain in the ass and it's a bit dangerous. You hear a lot of like, you know, accidents that happen on John Woo films where, like, you know, Chow Yun-fat has like singed his eyebrows and singed
From
his
a-
back
from a
hairs and
squib.
stuff. Yeah. And I feel like in America, you know, there'd definitely be lawsuits up the ass if
Wow,
anyone
they've done
got,
it in the
like, injured.
past. I mean, it's just that it's a lot easier to do CGI blood now, and probably the effect is more realistic.
Squibs are just cool.
They are. I mean, that's
Like the final scene in A Better Tomorrow 2. Damn. It's just like Squib Central.
Well, I'm sure
And,
we'll
like,
talk about it eventually. Yeah,
people flying across rooms and stuff.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one, I guess the style choice is a bit different. They're going for more of a John Wick type, you know, slick action. Which works, and the impact was there as well. I think, especially during the kitchen fight scene with that
Yeah.
I really like that character as well because he's just so over the top. He's just having a great time in this kitchen fighting this.
I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that kitchen fight scene. I actually really, really enjoyed that fight scene. That's probably my favorite.
I love a good
fight scene.
Improvised weapon fight scene. It's
And the stuff that they do, it looks like it hurts, man. And the impact is there, It would have been cool if he was like more of a final boss. I guess what maybe ruined that fight scene a little bit is that she didn't end up killing the guy. It was a sidekick. And like the hand of God things, someone else has saved you. It's like in Shanghai Nights when Jackie Chan is fighting Donnie Yen at the end. And then he's just saved by his sister shooting a firecracker into him. It's kind of you feel a bit robbed.
Yeah, I suppose so. But again, she is dying, and compared to this guy who seems really well rested, like he's dressed in a kimono and shit, just chilling on the sofa when they rock up, and she's like been beat to shit, and she's got poison, like radiation poisoning, and so it makes sense narratively. But yeah, I see what you mean. It's a little bit dissatisfying having the sidekick just whack him over the head.
I guess the other aspect of the film that I did have mixed opinions about was the soundtrack. As much as I said that I really enjoyed, Band-Maid's music, I feel like it wasn't utilized that well. Like it'd be kind of cool if there was like this really kind of over-the-top action sequence where like one of their songs would be playing. Just be very reminiscent of like kind of an anime moment.
I think you're thinking of Birds of Prey again, where they just play whatever pop song is on throughout the action.
There were some of the Japanese hip-hop songs, and I guess it was like, it's cool that they were using Japanese artists. That's great.
Yeah.
But I didn't personally like those choices. Like when she's storming the building, it's kind of like it should be a bit more of a somber moment, because she's doing her last thing, and then you have this kind of Japanese trance hip hop trap song, and it's like it was kind of like trying to be overly slick, where it didn't really suit it.
Well,
that was for me.
What is the alternative? Like Vivaldi or something, whatever they play in John Wick.
Oh, just something like you can make reference to like a lot of. This is probably just like I'm thinking back on those 80s Hong Kong movies where it's just kind of like
operatic,
more synthy, operatic, just something a bit more thematic, I guess. It also might have been cooler if she didn't have the backup of the yakuza mob. If she just went in on
right.
Obviously wouldn't work. It's not, but we've already gone to the fact that she's just keeping herself on adrenaline shots, which I think
it would have been great if it was just her and the old yakuza boss with a samurai sword. No other goons, but just those two, and they're just she's like shooting. Like in Black Lagoon, basically.
That would have, that would have been sick. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
But it wouldn't have made any sense because that guy. Oh, they could have worked it in. Like if that mafia boss had been on the outs with the yakuza because his right hand man had taken over already, that they could have made it work.
I guess that actor Jun Kunimura, who's fairly prolific in Japan, has done action sequences, but he's pushing a pretty old age. He has a showdown with was it Renji?
Yeah, and it's fine, like for what it is.
It is. Yeah.
I think if anything, his age and stature would have made the action more fun to watch. It's like watching Yoda go through a bunch of stormtroopers because it's unexpected. So when it happens, it's very satisfying. And he's a good actor as well. So
yeah. The same with Renji as well. He's been in a few Marvel films. He was fairly. He's pretty prolific in I can't quite remember Tadanobu
Asano.
Yes, that's it. He was Ichi in Ichi the Killer, which is a very dark film, which perhaps we may talk about.
We probably will
in a future episode.
He was in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he's Raiden.
Oh, that's a shame.
His English was much better in Kate. It was really bad in Mortal Kombat.
Well, his performance in general was pretty bad in Mortal Kombat.
It's not a great film. Maybe we can talk about that at another point. But I think we're pushing 40 here. So in the minutes, and Risky is probably thinking, you motherfucker, I have to
Sorry,
cut
Risky.
all this shit.
If you could just cut it up to make it actually good, that way, and also write that song, that would be great.
Write the song too, man.
Thank you for your help. And thank you for listening, guys. If you want to hear more of us, we're going to be doing this every week. This is just a taste. This is episode 0. Episode 1 is we're going to talk about Cowboy Bebop, the anime.
And I guess if anyone wants us to talk about something in particular,
send us an email. We'll give you the email address as soon as we make one.
Yeah, and I'll probably ignore it for a couple of days, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and again, if you worked on the F9 movie, I'll put Tavi's address in the description below, and you can send Vin Diesel over anytime.
The technique's called compositing. That's it, and you use a program called Nuke to do it. So there was a reason I went to study film, and I know some stuff. So
good.
All right, let's wrap this up then. But cheers, guys, and hopefully this goes somewhere. And
until next time,
have a good one.
Bye.